What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Dylan the Villain, and we're coming back at you with some Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. It is Saturday, week 1, July 1997. We are in Madison Square Garden for one Shotgun Saturday night. We are in a sold-out crowd of 20,789 people. We are going to go ahead and do the pre-show, knock that out in an abysmal pre-show match. Let's Storm defeats Mr. Aguila in 7:41 by submission with a single leg crab. The match got a 49, not bad. I just wanted to see where his rating was before we send him to developmental. Storm with a 54, which is expected for anybody on the main roster. Anything below a 40 is pretty much not main roster material. And Mr. Aguila with a 33. He debuted and it did terrible. So hopefully we can give him a new gimmick and he can go to developmental. We're going to move on to the next segment, which is another pre-show match and an abysmal pre-show match. The Old School Express defeats the Pitbulls when Chris Candido pinned Pitbull number 1 with a blonde bombshell. The match got a 54. The Pitbulls with a 49 and a 46. Not bad ratings. Steve Corino with a 37 and Chris Candido with a 58. Not bad. They both debuted. They're both called up to the main roster now. They debuted their cocky youth gimmick. Very good and adequate. Not bad. Pitbulls with a tag team specialist. And he is penalized going through the personal issues. Hopefully we can get them personal issues taken care of here real soon. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. And it is our opening. And we were going to announce what was going on in the match tonight, on the card tonight, but Steve Austin's music hits. And Jim Ross is like, wait a minute, this is not a schedule. What is Steve Austin doing out here? And Steve Austin looks pissed. He comes out to the ring. He does his four-corner salute. You know, the crowd is eating it up. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's here tonight. And Stone Cold grabs the mic and goes, I'm going to cut right to the chase. Last Monday, I called out this one punk ass, well, Steve Austin wouldn't say punk ass. I called out one Jericho, and he tucked his tail between his legs and hightailed it. Now, I know that you're in the building tonight. I seen you show up. And I know that you're back there, and I wanted to get your sorry ass out in this ring and face me like a man. And I'm not leaving this ring, and the show will not continue until you come out to this ring and face me like a man. And Steve Austin waits there for a minute, you know, and he calls for his beers, and he sits there, he cracks open a beer, and he's drinking. He's waiting, you know, he's drinking, blah, blah, waiting. He's like, time's ticking, son. About 5 minutes go by, Jericho still doesn't come out. He goes, I'll tell you like I told you Monday, you can either do this the easy way or the hard way. Either way, I'm going to drag your ass out to the ring, and I'm going to whoop your ass. And then Jericho's music finally hits. He doesn't even do the pyro. Like, his music just... You know, I got you. You know, it didn't even do the pyro. He just walks out and he goes, Steve. I done told you on Monday, I'm not getting in that ring with you. There's no chance in hell that I'm going to get in the ring with you. I'm never, ever going to get in the ring with you and give you what you want, especially in front of these stupid fans in Madison Square Garden. That's the last place that I'm going to get in the ring with you and wrestle you in. And Steve Austin goes, well, that's not the answer I was looking for. He then runs up the ramp. Jericho goes to run, but he slips and falls, and Steve Austin grabs him by the hair of the head. And Jericho's kind of fighting, and Steve Austin just starts beating his ass, hitting him, you know, just hitting him with the knees as he goes up the ramp and stuff. He throws Jericho in the ring. And then he tells the referee to come on. And we have that match. And before I click the next segment, we have that match. And Steve Austin's pretty much just whooping Jericho's ass. Jericho's rolling out of the ring. He's trying to run away, but every time he does, Steve Austin catches Jericho and throws him back in the ring. Steve Austin hits him with a stunner, hits him with a stunner, time and time again. And every single time Austin hits him with a stunner, he hits Jericho so hard that he flies out the ring and rolls out of the ring. And Jericho sees this as an opportunity to try to run up the ramp. And while Jericho's up the ramp, Austin chases him, tries to throw him back into the ring. And this time, Jericho ends up kicking Steve Austin in the dick and throwing him back in the ring. And Jericho just hightails it. And the winner of the match, by count out, and about 98, golly, wowee, and that is our opening. That's our opening matchup. I'm pretty sure our main event is not going to do this good, but wowee. And about that had sensational wrestling and fantastic heat. Steve Austin beats Chris Jericho by count out. Jericho intentionally got himself counted out, doing the cowardly heel. I'm actually quite happy with this matchup here. Jericho intentionally getting himself counted out. He wants nothing to do with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He knows that he got lucky over Stone Cold at King of the Ring, and he's taking his win and going. Stone Cold still hasn't got what he wanted. Steve Austin looks pissed off after Jericho gets counted out. Steve Austin gets back up, and he looks mad. He then rolls out of the ring and goes to the back looking for Jericho, but as the ref was counting Jericho, we seen on the Jumbotron there that Jericho grabbed his bags and jumped back in his car and left. He don't want anything to do with Steve Austin. We move to the next segment, which was our original opening contest of the match. No, it's our promo. I believe after this promo, we're going to be able to get our opening contest, what was supposed to be the opening contest of the night. But Steve Austin came out, and he said that he wants Jericho right here, right now, and he doesn't give a shit what's going on tonight. But we go to commercial, and we come back, and it is Vince McMahon, and he's in his office with Shane and Stephanie. Stephanie's sitting on the couch, and Shane's standing next to Vince, and he goes, Stephanie, I don't care what you have to say or how much you cry about what happened to The Rock on Monday. I told you that I didn't want you seeing somebody like him. Somebody who is just beneath you, Stephanie. You can do a lot better than somebody like The Rock. A professional wrestler is the last person you want to be in a relationship. Why? The Rock is a nobody. His dad was a nobody. His grandfather was a nobody. And The Rock, he's never going to amount to anything. He's a nobody also. You don't need to be dating somebody like him. And a matter of fact, you need to be dating somebody who comes from a good pedigree. A rich family, somebody like him. And she's like, Dad, I don't care about money. I don't care about any of that. She goes, I don't care about his background or his pedigree or who his dad or who his grandfather is. She goes, I like The Rock because he's nice to me. He actually treats me like a human. He's not afraid of me like the other guys are. And he goes, yeah, there's a damn reason why the other guys are afraid to talk to you. The Rock is stupid enough to even speak to you. Right? He should be fired. He should be fired. He shouldn't even be working here talking to you, trying to get in a relationship with you. He should be fired. He should be terminated. And Stephanie's like, no, don't do that. And she's like, it's not fair. If Shane wants to talk to one of the female talent, then Shane gets to, but I can't talk to the male talent. And Vincent's like, well, Shane is a man, and you're still a little girl. You're my little girl. You're daddy's little girl. And I don't want some wrestler persuading you into doing things that you shouldn't be doing and trying to persuade them into helping their career to better. And she's like, but he hasn't. The Rock hasn't. He's been nice to me, Dad. He's like, I know how these wrestlers are. All they care about is themselves. All they care about is getting ahead in this business. He goes, I know. I spend time with the boys. Shane spends times with the boys. So for here on out, if I just hear word that you and The Rock are talking to each other, I'm going to make The Rock's life a living hell. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make sure that The Rock will never, ever think about talking to you again. And Stephanie's like, that's not, like she starts crying and she's just like, Dad, but I actually care about The Rock. He's like, he's one of the few guys that I ever talked to that make me feel like a person and not just Vince McMahon's daughter. And Vince is not hearing it. Vince is just like, nah, you're not dating one of the boys. I don't want you dating somebody like him. A wrestler, somebody like The Rock, of all people. You should be dating somebody of a higher standard, higher class than a professional wrestler like The Rock. Like his dad was a nobody, his grandfather was a nobody. The Rock's going to be a nobody. I don't see any future with The Rock. I mean, who calls himself The Rock? Like, what is he the Rock of? Come on now, Stephanie. You're smarter than that. You should be dating somebody with higher standards and a more up-class person. And Stephanie starts crying and stuff like that. And Shane starts laughing. And he goes, Dad, I promise you that I'll do whatever. If I hear any of the boys, if I hear anything from the boys that Stephanie's talking to The Rock, I'll let you know. And Vince is like, good. He's like, well, Shane, I'm going to leave you to it. And I got a few matches that I need to go put together and some paperwork to fill out. And he goes, I got some termination papers that I need to go work on. Shane's like, termination papers? He's like, yeah, I gotta fire Vader. And he's like, I've said whoever loses that match, they're going to be fired. And Shane's just like, well, Dad, Vader's a good asset to this company. I think we need to keep Vader around. And Vince is like, no, I made up my mind. I'm going to go do the termination papers. There has to be, unless something happens to where he magically ends up changing my mind for him to keep his job, he's going to be fired by the end of the night. And Shane's just like, if that's what you want to do. And we move on to the next segment, which is our opening contest, which is for the World Tag Team titles and a belt that had superb wrestling, a little heat. The Legion of Doom defeats Too Cool when Road Warrior Animal pins Scotty 2 Hotty. The Legion of Doom makes defense number 4 of the WWF World Tag Team titles. Scotty 2 Hotty was weak link struggling to keep up with everybody else. He got a 38. That's not good, Scotty. You need to bring them numbers up. You need at least around a 50 for me to want to keep you on the main roster. But it's Scotty 2 Hotty, and I'm sure he's going to get some pop out of this. They did good. The Road Warriors did good. Blah, 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 blah. Road Warriors with a 70 and a 77. Match got a 67. They pretty much carried the match. We move on to our next segment, which is a match with Scotty Steiner's taking on the Godfather, and Scott Steiner makes him tap out with the Steiner recliner, and they have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. That is awesome. A 73, not bad at all. After the match, let's see how this does. A 78, not bad. Scott Steiner takes the mic, and he goes, now I know everybody's been talking about King of the Ring, King of the Ring, King of the Ring. Well, let me tell you something. Everybody's been stopping me in the airports. Everybody's been asking me, why, Scott, why are you going to turn on your brother Rick? Why are you going to do this? Why are you going to do that? And I got one simple question. Everybody says that I'm not the greatest, that I'm not the best one. And I proved them wrong. It was Rick who was holding me back. And I showed when I put the attack and put that wannabe pimp in the Steiner recliner. And yeah, he may have a train of hoes, but I'm the only one who knows how to satisfy the ladies, because I laid his ass in the middle of the ring, screaming in pain. And I'm going to take one of these hoes back to my hotel room and make him scream my name. Holla if you hear me. And he kisses his arm. And he does his little segment there. My wife walked into the room and made me laugh. I had to get myself. She never sees me record. And so she walked in and kind of was just like, what the hell are you doing your Scott Steiner voice for? So I had to stop myself from laughing on that one. We're going to move on to the next segment. And it is about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Rey Mysterio Jr. defeats Ultimo Dragon in 13-23 when Ultimo was disqualified when Rob Van Dam ran in and attacked Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey Mysterio makes defense number 8 of the Light Heavyweight Championship. The match almost got an 80. Rey Mysterio with an 83. He's been unstoppable here lately. He's been putting up some... He's been slowly building him. Ray went from a recognizable to a star in like however long he's been champion. About 6 months now. 6 months Ray's been champion. And he went from recognizable to a star. He's one of my stars in my company. He beats Ultimo Dragon, and Rob Van Dam comes out and attacks him. And Jim Cornette runs out, and he's like, that's it, attack his ass. Attack him, beat him down. Show him that win was a fluke. We're not done with you, Ray. We're not done with you. And Rob Van Dam's just beating him up. He gets on the turnbuckle, and he stands up, and he goes, Rob Van Dam. He goes to do the 5-star frog splash, and all of a sudden, music hits. And nobody knows. Rob Van Dam kind of like stops. He gets back down and he gets off the turnbuckle and he looks at the ramp. And nobody recognizes the music. And he keeps looking at the ramp, and Jim Cornette's looking around. And out of the crowd, it's Eddie Guerrero, and he runs in and attacks Rob Van Dam. We haven't seen Eddie Guerrero in a while. 95. Let's freaking go. I didn't think this segment was going to do that good. Eddie Guerrero runs and he attacks Rob Van Dam, and Jim Cornette's like, what the hell's going on? What the hell? It's Eddie Guerrero. We haven't seen Eddie Guerrero in a while. Eddie Guerrero is back. And he looks down at Rey Mysterio. As we know, one of the first title defenses Rey Mysterio had was Eddie Guerrero. And he ended up attacking the referee and getting suspended for quite some time here. He is back, serving his suspension. He is back in the World Wrestling Federation. And he looks down at Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio is looking back up at him. And Eddie doesn't extend his hand. Eddie doesn't offer to help him up. Eddie just looks at him and shakes his head at him. And then rolls out of the ring and leaves as Jim Cornette and Rob Van Dam already left. Rey Mysterio is confused. And Eddie Guerrero is looking at Rey, and he seems to be mouthing something and pointing at him and everything like that. Hopefully we can get some more answers on this soon of what's going on. Segment got a 95. Let's go on that one. I really didn't think it was going to do good. Jim Cornette helping that out. I pretty much told him to talk, but he didn't have anything to say. But we're going to move on to the next segment, which I believe it is a match. And it is. Kane is in action here tonight. It was supposed to... Yeah, okay. And in an extremely short match, Kane squashes Mark Marrow. Mark Marrow is in the ring. He doesn't know who his opponent is. Kane's music hit. Kane comes out to the ring. You know, back in the day, like typical Kane, when Kane debuted, he comes out and just 1, 2, 3, gets the job done, beats Mark Merrill with a choke slam, pins him. Kane does his pyro, the pyro goes off, and all of a sudden, we see Sting on the Jumbotron. 96, not bad, not bad. We see Sting on the Jumbotron, and he's standing there, and he goes, Kane, you know, I really had nothing to do with you when I first talked to The Undertaker about my plan and what I wanted to achieve here in the World Wrestling Federation and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to put an end to the McMahons and how I wanted to put an end to the World Wrestling Federation. Just like how the NWO wanted to take over WCW and take over the world, well, the only thing they're doing over there is destroying it. They're not bringing a war. So I decided upon myself to bring the war to the World Wrestling Federation. And I recruited The Undertaker. And he swore to me that you were the man to trust. But you showed your true colors when you listened to your father, Paul Bearer. And you turned on The Undertaker and cost him that World Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Championship title. I knew from day one that you wouldn't be trusted. That you couldn't be trusted. That you hold envy over your brother. That you still hold that grudge from all those years ago. And I talked to your brother. And your brother convinced me that he knew how to beat you. That he could put it into you. But it looks like your brother has let me down just like you have. That your brother has disappeared. And is too afraid to show his face to me. Kane, I haven't forgot about you and your betrayal. And I haven't forgot about my mission here in the World Wrestling Federation. Your brother wants to hide from embarrassment. He's too embarrassed to show his face because he couldn't get the job done at King of the Ring. He couldn't beat you. He couldn't set you on fire and send you back to the depths of hell where you belong. But you couldn't even beat him. Y'all beat each other. And I got great enjoyment out of that too. Because if I can't destroy the WWF the way I want to, then I'll just destroy its workers. Undertaker is too afraid to show his face to me, too afraid to show himself to me, then I'll just destroy the Undertaker. I have all power over the Undertaker. The urn is destroyed. The power that he possesses is all mine now. I haven't forgot about you, Kane. I haven't forgot about your betrayal, and I haven't forgot about any of this. So I will go back to where I came from, in the shadows lurking, watching and waiting for my next strike, my next attack. And when I do attack, I promise you it will be the end of the World Wrestling Federation, and the darkest days will finally be upon thee. 7 got a 96. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Sting says that he hasn't seen The Undertaker. The Undertaker's must be afraid to show his face to Sting for not getting the job done at King of the Ring against Kane. But he has not forgot about Kane. Sting said he has not forgot about Kane. And if he has to find somebody else and regroup, then that's what he's going to do. He's going to take his time and regroup and put together something to put an end to the World Wrestling Federation. we see in this segment, we see Dwayne Gill. And he's backstage, and all of a sudden Vader just comes, and Vader has a referee with him, and he throws Dwayne Gill into the catering. Dwayne Gill's just hanging out in catering with his 24/7 hardcore title. And he just throws Dwayne Gill into the catering table. And he's like, "Hey, getting fired. Can't fire me if I'm the champ." And then he throws Dwayne Gill into the catering table, and he just starts beating Dwayne Gill up. In an exceptional match, Vader defeats Dwayne Gill in a hardcore match in 740. When by pinfall, Vader wins the 24/7 hardcore title. Match got an 84, not bad. Dwayne Gill with a 89 and Vader with a 84. The hardcore storyline, 24/7 hardcore storyline advances. There was lack of psychology. Intend to drift. I know who that is from. His skills are coming to an end here. Vader wins the championship. Can't fire somebody who has a championship. It will be a bad look for your company. Vader wins, and he takes his title and runs off, leaving Dwayne Gill there in a pretty much a mess here and catering. And Vader ends up beating him. Vader is now a 2-time 24/7 hardcore champion. We then go to commercial, and we come back and we see Owen Hart in the locker room, and Kurt Angle walks up. He's just like, "Owen," and Owen looks up and he sees Kurt, and he's like, he really doesn't say anything. He's like, "Look, he's like, Owen, I'm glad I'm glad that you're here tonight. I know that Brett's not here; he had the week off, but I'm glad you're here tonight. I just want to thank you for the awesome match at King of the Ring." He goes, "After you beat me at King of the Ring, I was rooting for you, man. I was rooting for you to win the whole thing, because the guy who beat me goes on to win it. That just makes me look even better." And then Owen kind of looks upset, and Kurt's like, look. I'm not here to put you down, Owen. I'm here to help you out, man. I'm here to get you out of this rut that you seem to be in. He goes, "Look." Owen's kind of really not wanting to hear it, and he's like, "Owen, come on, man." He's like, "Look, you see this gold medal around my neck? I won this with a broken freaking neck." And Owen's like, "Yeah, I've heard." And Kurt kind of laughs and goes, "I know I say it a lot. I do say it a lot, but just hear me out. I won this not only with a broken neck, but the 3I principle that I live by. Intensity, integrity, and intelligence." He goes, "I know you have what it takes to be a world champion here in the World Wrestling Federation. And if nobody has your back around here, just know that you've earned my respect, Owen. You gave me one hell of a match since being here, and heck, you're the only person to beat me so far here in the World Wrestling Federation." He goes, "So I don't say this much, but you got a friend in me, man." And Kurt puts out his hand, and Owen looks confused at first, and he's kind of weary about it, and Kurt's like, "Come on, man. Nothing, it's no trick. This is coming from the heart." Then Owen grabs Kurt's hand and he shakes it. He goes, "Yeah, man, This business is real tough, and you could only trust so many people. Kurt's like, yeah, tell me about it. He goes, you can't even trust your own brother sometimes. And he laughs, and Owen's just like, yeah. And Owen's like, I see that you have a match tonight against Jeff Jarrett, and I just want to say good luck, man. And Kurt's just like, thank you, yeah, it means a lot. My match is actually up next. And Owen's just like, well, good luck. And Owen kind of just grabs his gear and walks off. Owen doesn't have a match tonight. And Owen kind of just grabbed his gear and walked off. And Kurt's just like, yeah, thank you, thanks. So we're going to go ahead and go to that match, which I believe it is our main event of tonight. And it got a 90, not bad. An exceptional match. Jeff Jarrett defeats Kurt Angle in 13-11 by pinfall using some underhand tactics. He grabs Kurt's tights and ends up beating him. The segment got a 90. Kurt Angle with a 95. He pretty much carried that match. And Jeff Jarrett with a 79. I thought Jeff Jarrett was a little bit higher than that, but I guess not. And Broken Heart storyline advanced, and Kurt Angle benefited from having crowd support. We go to the next segment. I guess that is not the main event. It's the last match of the night, but after the match, we have some big news that Shawn Michaels will be at Monday Night Raw to address the situation that happened with Triple H at King of the Ring. Shawn Michaels will be at Monday Night Raw, and he has said that he will have some words for his former best friend, Triple H, at Monday Night Raw. So tune into that one to see what Shawn Michaels is going to say and what he has to say about Triple H attacking him and costing him the World Heavyweight title against Bret Hart at King of the Ring. As we know, Triple H won King of the Ring. Last Monday, Triple H said that he's tired of being in Shawn Michaels' shadow, so how Shawn Michaels going to respond to that, we will have to find out at Monday Night Raw. We're going to go ahead and finish the show. It got a 76. The fans were annoyed at the amount of non-wrestling segments that they had to sit through. I am sorry on that one. We lost Pop and 24 Regions. This is the first show that we did not do too good in. I believe we had a lot of talking. So guess the fans weren't too happy about that. Maybe I needed to make some of the things longer, but we got a 76. It's been a while since we got a low rating like that, but we're going to go ahead and finish though. Not all of them can be winners. Coming off the heels of a 100 rating pay-per-view. Not all of them can be winners. I had to throw some story in there. Let's see here. What we got going on? Tatanka is going to WCW. Really don't know that guy. I have no clue who that guy is. I guess it's just a created NPC wrestler. Everything like that, so. Let's see how ECW did some TV tapings. They got a 75. Sabu defeats Kevin Sullivan and Terry Gordy to retain the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. So Sabu is the World Heavyweight Champion. Taz and Sandman defeat the Trappers. Looks like an okay show. Doesn't look too bad. 72. Not bad. TV taping number 3, 75. Sandman defeats Savio Vega to retain the ECW television title. One-man gang. Not bad. And let's see here. I think this is the last taping. Urban Gladiators defeat the Trappers. And not bad whatsoever. Not bad. ECW doing pretty good. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and save that. And thank you guys for watching the video. Like and subscribe like always. It helps us out a lot. For those of y'all are new, we're going to go ahead and put it back on the ECW thing. For those of y'all who stumbled upon the channel and like what you see and want to see some more, subscribe right here on the ECW, where the ECW logo is. The subscribe icon will be right there. And if you like this episode and want to go back and watch some previous episodes, click on the last night results right here. The playlist should be right there. Like I always say, guys, I'm Dylan the Villain. And like I always say, if you can't play with each other, do what I do on a daily basis and play with yourself. Later, guys.